Welcome back to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where we love to educate and inspire the community with topics around living healthier, feeling more balanced and living a life we love. And today we have Dr Zara Celik back with us, our integrative health and wellness expert. And the topic today is body dysmorphia. So welcome, Zara.
Thank you.
What is dysmorphia?
Well, dysmorphia comes from the word morphia, which means form. So usually that can occur in individuals where they are comparing themselves to somebody else. Usually they are infatuated with someone. When it comes to body dysmorphia, they're comparing their body parts to someone else. Or it could be also a comparison of intellectual capacity. They could be comparing themselves to say, oh, they're smarter than me. That's a form of dysmorphia. Or they're richer than me, or they're wealthier than me, or they've got better family than me. So they're all dysmorphia, but today let's focus on and talk about body dysmorphia. And in that, usually people comparing their body parts to someone else. I recently had a lady that I was actually talking to, and she went through a procedure, a cosmetic procedure, because she thought that the person that her boyfriend was actually following and watching on social media was more attractive than her. So she was looking to see what her boyfriend was actually, looking at in that individual, which was on social media, by the way, and in overseas. So she then thought, okay, well, she compared then her to herself. That was on social media. And she then took the step and went and did a cosmetic procedure because she was comparing her body part to this individual on social media. So I asked a question to her. I said, where have you perceived yourself having that form? She's very intelligent. And then she looked into it because I made her aware. She wasn't able to see that not only she also perceived herself attractive in the same form as the model was on social media, but also she had it in different forms, which was her intelligence, which was her career, which were her business and her education. And the minute she saw that, and she had that reflected awareness, because I made her aware by questioning her, she was able to accept and love her body for who she was, rather than comparing herself to some other person and try to become her, which she wasn't going to become her, right? She's by individual.
Yeah, if I may. And the other thing I just clicked with me is, of course, online you see these people and they're all, it's all, you can't tell exactly what they look like. Let's put it, what is it, Photoshop or whatever.
That too, yes.
It's being done all the time.
Exactly, and especially with our teenagers, right? They're sort of going through a stage in their life trying to work out who they are, and also they're comparing their body particularly to other people, and they want to become like them. I just want to tell them, embrace and love who you are and have reflective awareness about where do you display that form. And if it is the body, there's also a side of you, you're not just like disliking your body completely, not disowning it. I'm sure there are parts that you're also owning. So go to the parts that you're owning where you feel confident and comfortable and embrace that. And that could give you that confidence. So then you're not comparing yourself to others. And with, again, social media, like you said, it's not always the truth and the true reflection of things. And I want people to be aware of that as well, because that's huge. And not only in teenagers, I also have, a lot of women, mature women, even the language that they use about their body. I hate that about my body. The minute they do it, I pick up on that. It's like, where have you actually loved that part of you? So that's quite significant. And then immediately they go to their mind, the subconscious, and get into balancing the mind within themselves. So then they create the equity between themselves and the other person that they're comparing it to. So usually it's the comparison. They're trying to be like somebody. It's the comparison of things where the individual then starts having dysmorphia. Because I'm not fit enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not attractive enough, or my size isn't just like her or him. So that's where it all comes in. But once we create the that equity between the individual outside of us and ourselves, and the balance within our mind, that's where we actually overcome dysmorphia.
And does that then also, with the body dysmorphia, does that lead into things like anorexia and
It can, absolutely. So that's when, having that conflict within. That's why I said balancing the mind. So when there's that conflict, they will want to be like, oh, she's skinny, I'll just won't eat, or I will just, or bulimia is another one. They eat, they throw up, they always have that, up and down in the weight. They're always constantly comparing themselves to somebody else. And of course, yes, it can lead to anorexia and bulimia, for sure.
And so how does it, you've sort of said a bit about how it plays out, I suppose, but how does it then, how do you actually work with people with that to help them to overcome it or to help to feel better about it?
Yeah, great question. So I will encourage people, stop the minute they see they've infatuated with somebody and they've got this fantasy going, to stop and say, well, what is it exactly I'm admiring in that person? And where have I that displayed in me? Where do I have it also in my own form? In my intelligence, apart from the looks, or even the looks. They may be comparing the fitness of the arm, but see where else you are fit. They may be comparing the stomach area to somebody else. Well, go to form and find in other form. What part of your body do you love and own? So find the form that you love and the form that you're confident and comfortable with. So you dissolve the dysmorphia. For not everybody loves every single body part, but there are things that we really like and we just accentuate that and we bring that forward and we look at that and feel comfortable. And there's other parts where we not feel very comfortable, but then there's that whole balance even in the body, and I want people to be aware of that. Even with our body parts, there's that balance. And once we become aware, say, hey, yes, I may not like my legs very much, but I love maybe my face or my hair or my eye, just giving an example. So I like people to find their own form and see what they're admiring in other persons actually within them once they find it.
And Zara, what advice would you give our viewers as a number one, a first thing?
Sure. So be aware of the language that you're using. Are you self-critical? That's a common one, right? And then when that creates the equity in the mind. So you are actually balancing your own mind through the thought process and the language that you have, and also contributing to the biochemistry of the mind. The other thing is when you catch yourself being infatuated or admiring someone so much, stop immediately and ask yourself the question, what is it exactly I'm admiring in them? And find it in your own form. Where have I admired myself? And find your form. And that will help you to create equity between you and the individual that you're admiring or infatuated with.
Great. Thank you, Zara.
My pleasure.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and body dysmorphia, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And now we'll go to break.
Stay tuned. After the break, barbecue cook and healthy food advocate Sarah Kiryshin will be talking about healthy food for today's busy people. Welcome back to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, and we're here again with Sarah Kiryshin, barbecue cook and healthy food advocate, continuing our discussions regarding healthy food for today's busy people. And Sarah has turned up with this incredible feast, so please explain yourself, Sarah.
Alrighty, so this is one of my favorite topics. As we know, I am a barbecue lover and a busy person, okay? So for me, I need to make sure that everything ticks a box for me, right? So it has to be delicious, it has to be easy, and it has to be quite kind of straightforward to cook as well. So one of my favorite things to do on a Sunday afternoon is rummage through my crisper have a look at all the veggies in there and think, great, what can I barbecue? What can I cook up today that will return favours for future Sarah? So I think about my week and I go, you know what? I'm going to get a lot of cooking out of the way now, get it all done, and then I've got some variety, some amazing healthy food. And because we're cooking on the barbecue, I get to have that char, beautiful flavour that is indescribable and unmatched, and I get to enjoy that throughout the week, which is wonderful.
So I see you've got broccoli, carrots, capsicum. Is it possible to switch that out and substitute it with something else?
Yes, absolutely. So what I do have is, for what kind of inspired this is I thought to myself, okay, what can I do with this food? So by cooking up the carrots, the capsicum, the broccoli, the eggplant, and then I've got a few proteins here. So I thought to myself, okay, great, I'm going to marinate the beef in some amazing soy sauce to give a bit of an Asian inspiration. Pairing that with some carrots and broccoli and the eggplant, it just makes this beautiful harmony of flavours. So out of this, I'll be making like a, kind of a Thai beef salad situation, a little bit of cherry tomatoes to add in some pop of freshness and some salad leaves. Boom. I've organised myself a delicious salad there that's going to obviously serve me tomorrow or the next day. So, and with the chicken, I can repurpose this chicken. Most of the time we'll just eat it straight off the skewer because it's so delicious and it's hard to contain ourselves. But what we can do is we can turn that into a salad. We can turn it into chicken wraps. You can slice the chicken finely, maybe even make some rice paper rolls out of it down the track as well. In terms of substitutions, what we can do is we could easily turn this into a vegetarian feast or even a vegan feast. So if we simply sub out or swap out the beef and chicken, we can add in some tofu. So what I would do with this is I would add some tofu in. Automatically it's a vegan dish or a vegan platter if we will. So I would grill the tofu. Of course, we've got our broccoli and our carrots here. Put that in a rice bowl and you have yourself the most amazing charred, barbecued, crispy tofu. You've got a delicious rice bowl. It's filling, it's nourishing, and it's super, super easy. Alternatively, what you can do is you can grill some halloumi. One of my favourite things to do on the barbecue is to grill halloumi. That's a vegetarian option for us, of course. And again, it gives us quite a few options down the track. One of the things that I love to do with my grilled capsicum is slice it into thin slices, then pop it in a marinade of some olive oil and some lemon juice, a little bit of salt, maybe some oregano or some other fresh herbs. Then you've got yourself some marinated capsicum. You can put that on pretty much anything, sandwiches, wraps. Something I like to do is chop it up quite finely and make a little bruschetta mix out of it. The flavours that it infuses down the track, you're just doing future you a favour.
I'm interested in flavour and I would like to know how you infuse flavour into all the separate ingredients so they don't all taste like the one barbecue.
Alrighty, so this is a really, really good topic and one that I'm also very, very passionate about. So for example, with the eggplant here, what I did is I made up a little honey soy dressing. So while it's on the grill, I'm going to be basting that in a honey soy dressing. And then I turn it and it infuses it even more. It gets that little bit of char, I baste it again. And so we're kind of locking in that one flavour profile to that one element of the dish. And so with the broccoli, for example, that's already got an amazing char on it. So we think, okay, what can we do to enhance the flavour of broccoli? I personally love a little bit of butter, not too much, a little bit of butter and some salt. Broccoli is actually one of those vegetables that it tastes, when it's cooked right, it tastes so incredible. It's got this beautiful nutty flavour. So I love, when it comes to carrots, I absolutely love to put butter, honey and caraway seeds. For me, it is a match made in heaven. I have one dish that I do. I will char grill some carrots, pop it in the fridge for later, and then make sure I've put some honey, butter and caraway seeds on it. And then you can pop it on a little bit of whipped feta or any kind, honestly, anything, because it tastes so good. But on some whipped feta, it is magnificent.
Sarah, if you could give us your top barbecue tips, that would be fantastic.
Okay, so number one is to make sure that you have got your barbecue ready. Some people get a little bit intimidated because they think it's going to take so long to fire up a barbecue. For me, we're talking an hour of my day to cook all of this food. So when I'm doing a really big cook that involves a number of different ingredients, I do like to set up a bit of a production line. So what I would do is I'll just prep all my veggies, cut them up, put them separately on a large plate or in some containers. Then I'll make sure my barbie is extra hot, start cooking. When I start cooking, I love to ensure that I'm injecting even more flavour into it because I just love the barbecue flavour so much. So then I will use some wood chips. I'll pop some smoking chips on the charcoal just before I start cooking the food, and that starts to smoke up and will bring the most incredible flavour into this food. And you can also alternate the timings of when you're putting things on as well. So maybe you won't want a hickory smoke flavour in the carrots, for example. So what I would do is cook the carrots first, and then I'll put my wood chips on to get a different flavour in the different foods.
Thank you so much, Sarah. If you want more information about Sarah and barbecue cooking and preparing healthy meals for the rest of the week, go to Sarah's webpage on our website at healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and stay tuned. We'll see you after the break with another terrific guest and interesting topic.
After the break, health coach and author Kaveri Sequeira is talking about sustaining a healthy lifestyle, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, and our next guest is Kaveri Sequeira, certified health coach and author, and today her topic is sustaining a healthy lifestyle. Welcome back, Kaveri.
Thank you, Linda. Great to be back.
Always good to see you. And today you're talking about sustaining a healthy lifestyle. Now, why is it important to sustain a healthy lifestyle? Bearing in mind, I guess you've talked to us about the human diet.
Yes, absolutely. So it's really important to sustain that human diet and healthy lifestyle, because you've worked so hard in changing and doing all the things that are required to have that healthy lifestyle. So you obviously want to maintain it. I've seen so many times where people go back to their old habits and behaviors within 3 to 6 months, especially if they've done yo-yo dieting, with the different, just get a crash result. But in 3 to 4 months time, they're back, eating with their old ways of eating and their patterns. Now that doesn't happen when you follow the human diet, simply because you know how to deal with it, and also because the cravings are completely reduced because we're having natural food and there's not much chemicals. So your body is having a bit of a chance to kind of get that reset and really heal, and you're not having those spikes in blood sugars that's going to cause you to pile on those kilos. And you're eating seasonally, and that helps a lot, as I've talked about before as well, to give your body a break to actually heal. So when I kind of achieved my weight loss goals and my weight transformation following this human diet, what I personally did was join a support group. So I actually joined people who are actually on the same journey as me, and that community feel like made a massive difference. And also just being more, just if you make a mistake and you do something or eat something that you don't want to eat and you feel like you've fallen off track, just get back on track. Don't beat yourself up. That's what we do as well, and that doesn't help being healthy because you're mentally stressed then. So yeah, that's why it's important, and I can share with you how you could do that.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So that would be my question to you. How can we sustain it moving forward, and bearing in mind that the healthy diet, and also you mentioned the emotional eating aspect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how do you do that? As I've already mentioned, join a community of like-minded people, because when you're in community, you have that accountability, and having that accountability really helps. And don't beat yourself up. Like if you've gone off track, recognize it and get back on track. And the emotional hunger is really a big one for us to, like a life event happens and then you like, okay, let me just trigger that behavior. That kind of triggers the behavior to go eat something that you would have had the last time you had that life event. So my suggestion is walk away, go drink a glass of water, do some meditation or deep breathing. That'll actually help you not buckle in and fall off the rails. The other thing is, you decide the person you're going to be. You literally change your mindset around food, and you literally change who you are or identify with. For example, if someone asks me, do I smoke today? I say I'm not a smoker. That's my identity around smoking. So like for that, you can have that same identity around food. You can say, I don't eat refined sugars. Or you could say, I don't eat dairy in my diet. When you are that person, when you identify with that, then it's very easy to say no to the bad habits coming back in. So when it comes to healthy lifestyle, then why people are so happy that they've have it, and then why do they not follow it all the time? The reason is because there's some sort of life event that's happened that kind of triggers old ways of eating or old behaviors, and they kind of just fall into bad habits again. The other reason is they probably don't have the support network that's kind of required to keep them accountable to maintain that healthy lifestyle. The biggest reason though is that they haven't identified themselves as a person who's like healthy and eats certain types of food, and the identity is not associated 100%, or it's not reinforced 100%, and that's probably why they go back into old ways of eating. So my suggestion for that, I'll cover off in the tips, is how they can actually do that better.
Oh, wonderful. And so then from that, then what would your best advice, your top tips for our viewers as a takeaway from today?
Absolutely. So my best tips, if you've already achieved like sustainable weight loss and you're happy with it, and if you're following a very healthy lifestyle already and you're worried that you're going to put on weight, is to make a list. This is a food list of what I do eat, what I don't eat, and I will eat sometimes. Make a list and see, is this something that I want to associate as a person, as an identity of someone who eats, 3 chocolates a day? Or you could just say, I don't eat chocolate. It's your decision, but you are now aware of what is good quality and what is not so good for your health. You get a choice. This is food, what food freedom is. You make a list of what you associate with something that you're going to eat regularly, something you're not going to eat regularly, and something that you eat sometimes. And that way you are not going below the line. You're not, making a mistake. And if you make a mistake, guess what? Just get back on track, because guilt and shame around this doesn't help us maintain a healthy lifestyle, because healthy lifestyle also includes your mental health and emotional health. And yes, and drink your 7 to 8 glasses of water. Have healthy community around you, and that will certainly make a big difference.
Thank you so much, Kaveri.
Pleasure.
And for more information on Kaveri and sustaining a healthy lifestyle, but then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And for now, we'll say bye-bye and we'll see you next week. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like our Facebook page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.